If you're just waking up right now, no, it's not 7 a.m., it's 8 a.m. because time jumped ahead 1 hour for daylight saving. But President Trump rips into special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation with some harsh words. There's several events, and this morning we're learning more about one that involves paint and your body.
That's right.
I'm saving my juicy questions when she's here because I need to see her reaction.
There you go. Yeah, we'll save those.
A good idea, Elizabeth, that you thought about the axe throwing because with the nerve, I feel like that kind of breaks the ice, right?
Well, it does.
Columbus Public Health and the Franklin County Health Department is urging everyone to get a hepatitis A vaccine. Now, they believe it's a necessary safety measure because of what they call the largest Hep A outbreak in the community in 25 years. Okay, I was wondering, like, do you put in your water?
Oh, yeah. So we have stock. So with
shrimp then. It's good. I like the sauce.
All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us.
But then I said, just ask Cleveland police, and you're going to have to see why in the story.
But what is the punchline of the joke?
You have
I got to.
Yeah, you got to watch the story.
The punchline is coming up.
Yes, correct. See, he just ruined the tease.
Can't wait to hear it now. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. You guys are dressed in green. I am not. You know why? Because we have a green wall.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you probably forgot to.
No, I didn't forget.
Governor Mike DeWine unveils his new budget plan. It increases government spending by $1 billion to a total of $74 billion in a year. And people around the world are paying their respects to the 50 victims of that shooting.
And this is a vigil right here.
This morning, Governor Mike DeWine says his 18-cent gas tax increase proposal is essential to the safety of families. The Senate approved 1/3 of what he asked for in his story you only see right here in Good Day Columbus. A local minister says vandals have damaged a trailer he was working to turn into a refuge for the homeless in East Columbus. Now this morning, Attorney General William Barr is trying to figure out if he wants to release Robert Mueller's report. This morning with the science of snacking, and everyone's big question is, why do we snack?
So there's a lot of reasons.
And since our story aired, Watkins Memorial High School and music groups from Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, and Alabama have all donated their equipment to the Columbus Saints. Band members say they're overwhelmed by all the generosity. The St. Patrick's Day Parade, that kicks off today at 11 o'clock this morning in downtown Dublin. The rise in flu cases is happening all across the country, including right here in Franklin County. Columbus Public Health says it's seen an uptick, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. If you're feeling under the weather, you're not alone.
I was sick for a while, and actually my coworker was just sick, and she had to take her kids to the doctor as well. Was sick while she was there, so it's definitely been going around.
It certainly is. And for many, it's hard to avoid public places where germs are easily spread around.
I'm a little bit scared now, but I'm just trying to take precautions like washing my hands and stuff.
It is a time that people need to take action.
Doctors also say it's not too late to get your flu shot now, especially if you're traveling.
The flu is everywhere. It's not just in Ohio. So if you decide to go south somewhere for spring break, it could be there too.
In fact, the entire country is dealing with a lot of flu cases, much more than last year. Check out these maps from the CDC. The one on the left is pretty mild and green from the last flu season, but the one on the right for this year is almost covered entirely in red.
The last 5 or 6 weeks have been a little busier than last year, yes, at least what we're seeing in this part of Columbus.
Dr. Bruce Jones from Ohio Health says people with the flu typically come into the ER when they're severely dehydrated or have some respiratory problem.
Especially if they have asthma or other lung problems, they can get into some respiratory issues. So I think those would be the two biggest things.
According to the state health department, hospitalizations are up 18% in the latest report in February compared to last year. Columbus Health has seen a 50% increase.
It's flu season, and so we see a rise anytime in the season. Sometimes it can be early as November or December. Sometimes we see it peak late like we are right now.
The best way to avoid it, keep your hands clean and away from others who have the flu.
I just try to stay away from everyone who's coughing and sneezing.
In Columbus, Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News. Well, unfortunately, due to HIPAA laws, Columbus Public Health cannot release any information about the little boy and his family. But the health commissioner says she's very concerned about the recent rise of flu cases, and this should be a wake-up call for everyone to take the flu seriously. A fourth child has now died due to the flu. The latest case happening right here in Columbus.
The flu can cause complications, and that's what we are most concerned about. So this 3-year-old boy did die from complications of the flu.
Dr. Mashika Roberts with Columbus Public Health says the boy died overnight, but it's not clear if he ever got the flu shot.
I don't know all the details of, what complications he had, but, we do know that the flu vaccine not only helps prevent you getting the flu, but then obviously can help prevent some of the complications of the flu.
Doctors say the flu vaccine is extremely helpful, even life-saving for those most vulnerable, like young children, older adults, and those with respiratory issues. And when in doubt, doctors say go to the hospital.
If the family is concerned that the child isn't taking enough liquids by mouth or isn't feeding well by mouth, if they're having a hard time keeping the fevers under control, these are all reasons for families to at least pick up the phone and call their pediatrician.
Health officials say no one should die from the flu, especially when there's still plenty of vaccines available.
I think it should be a wake-up call to many in our community about how serious the flu can be and to really take it seriously.
All set?
The CDC says children as young as 6 months old can get the flu shot. The vaccine is not available for children at retail pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS, but you can get it at your local health department or at your doctor's office. For now, reporting live here in the studio, Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News. 29-year-old Tyler Davis was last seen here at the Hilton Easton Town Center. It's been 3 weeks since he disappeared, and his wife says with each passing day, she becomes even more worried.
We got some dinner. We went out.
Brittany Davis says she'll never forget her 23rd birthday.
I was super concerned, obviously, because we're not from the Columbus area at all. That was the first time I'd ever been in Easton before.
A couple from Wilmington checked into the Hilton in Easton on February 23rd to celebrate her birthday. But in the early morning hours of February 24th, Davis says her husband took a walk and never came back.
He had actually said, well, I'm walking through the woods. I can see the Hilton. I'll be right there. He sounded really confused.
She says she kept calling him, but his phone eventually died.
That was the last time I talked to him, and that was a little after 4 in the morning.
She filed a missing persons report with Columbus police the next day. CPD says they've searched the area but didn't find anything. Davis says family and friends have also passed out more than 2,000 flyers with his picture on it, just like this one. But so far, no one has seen him.
We just had our 1-year anniversary. I'm sorry. He's a really good dad, and he's a really good provider, and he does a really good job taking care of us, and we're just really worried because he wouldn't just leave.
Davis says she doesn't know anyone who would want to hurt him, and he would never leave his family behind, especially their 1-year-old son, Aaron.
He's an amazing dad. He is such a good dad. He has taught our son so much stuff. He's such a good dad.
Davis says it's not easy staying positive, but that's all she can really do.
It's been really hard, but I know that he has to come home, and I have to be strong for my son until Tyler's back, because that's what he would want me to do.
Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News. At least $60,000 worth of band equipment disappeared from this church parking lot. It belongs to a nonprofit group called the Columbus Saints. Now the band members and parents are devastated. Liz Steele with the Columbus Saints showed us exactly where the thieves stole their entire equipment trailer.
It was actually parked in the grass over there where the mud is. And like I said, we've kept it there for years and have never had a problem.
The 28-foot trailer was also locked, and there are security cameras around the church.
And it's really devastating, and it definitely is going to hurt us for this season.
The Columbus Saints nonprofit group started as a drumline more than 15 years ago.
I think that's the part that hurts the most, is because we do this for the kids and we do this for the community.
The Saints travel all over to expose kids about the possibilities of music. This is video of a performance they did in Chicago.
We do a lot of community performances. We have a parade this weekend for St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, and it's going to be really hard to borrow equipment and get everything we need so we can continue on.
That's why Jeremy Anderson's 2 sons joined the Columbus Saints.
One's a tuba player, one is a mellophone player, and they had a great experience with the Saints.
The group has set up a fundraiser page in hopes to bounce back on their feet.
In your heart to help us out, that'd be great to help us out.
Police are currently on the case, but parents hope someone will come forward with answers soon.
Think about the kids and bring the equipment back.
In Columbus, Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News. A 17-year-old has a long rap sheet, and the most serious crime he's now facing is aggravated murder. That's why today a judge right here at the Juvenile Detention Center says that he's going to remain locked up.
Kevion is present in court today for a preliminary hearing on delinquency allegations of aggravated robbery and aggravated murder.
Kevion Jacobs sat quietly in court. Next to him, his public defender and his grandmother, who has sole custody of him.
Grandmother, are you custodian? Like, let the record reflect I've served the parties.
Prosecutors want to charge Jacobs as an adult. Court documents show that he's been in and out of juvie since he was 14 years old. He was disobedient, would come and go as he pleases. He's been charged with a felony of receiving stolen property. Then more serious crimes started this month, having a gun, aggravated robbery, and now being charged with murder.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to ask that the young man be maintained.
On March 6, police say Jacobs met 25-year-old Kyle Hazley in the Linden area to buy a PS3. They connected through a social media app called OfferUp. Then police say Jacobs robbed Hazley and shot him in the head. He died 6 days later. Jacob's grandmother willing to take him home so he would stay out of the juvenile detention center.
Your Honor, I spoke with Kevion. We do understand, based as well as his family, and we do understand based on the seriousness of the charges that the court is unlikely to release him today. I would just say the grandmother is willing to take him home should the court consider that.
But prosecutors argued to keep him locked up for the safety of the community.
Well, given the serious nature of the allegations today, I am going to order that you remain in the detention center.
The teen is scheduled to be back in court on April 3rd. For now, reporting here in downtown Columbus, Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News. A national network of crime survivors is building a movement across the country. With 8 local chapters, the groups are hoping Ohio lawmakers will make common sense legislation that will help victims of crime. They also want more money to go to trauma centers instead of building more prisons. I took a closer look at what's being done right here in the Buckeye State. One by one, activists and crime survivors spoke out.
The father of my children was beat to death with a baseball bat.
India Brown traveled from Cleveland to share her painful story of losing her sweetheart and her little brother.
He was standing at a bus stop waiting to go home, and he was shot and murdered.
She says she didn't know how to deal with the pain and be a mother at the same time.
I worked 2 jobs, managed the kids, went to school. So it was very difficult not to have the support.
Until she found out about Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice. It's a national network of crime survivors helping each other while shaping public policy. The group's top goals, reforming the criminal justice system.
It's wasteful spending. We're throwing money away. It's harmful to communities. We're throwing people away.
That's why Ohio lawmakers are already doing something about it.
What Senate Bill 3 does is basically opens the door to allow us to reform our drug laws and our sentencing laws.
The bill will help low-level offenders re-enter the workforce, something that is near and dear for Representative Stephanie House.
My younger cousin, Robert, he got sentenced to 43 years in prison for an aggravated robbery. And they was like, she just threw him away. They said that he wasn't redeemable.
But Ohio is leading the way when it comes to helping victims of crime. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle created 8 trauma recovery centers across the state. 2 are right here in Columbus. It's a place that's done wonders for Brown's recovery.
With the trauma recovery centers, they do provide that wraparound support.
But the group says there's still a lot more work ahead.